Hi, writers. It's so good to be with you today, virtually, sort of. Today, I have a tip for you to make your realistic fiction books even more realistic. So, today we're going to focus on picking the right setting for our stories. It might be a good idea to pick a setting that you are familiar with, because when you're familiar with a place, you're able to say a lot more about it. It would be really hard for me to write a story about a place that I've never been to. For example, Houston, Texas. I've never been there. I'm not going to be able to explain that place in my story really well because I've never been there. So, today, I want to teach you that when you're writing realistic fiction stories, it might be smart to pick a place that you are familiar with so you can give lots and lots of details about it in your writing. I'm going to show you a writing that I have started, a writing piece that I've started. So, I'm writing a story about a girl named Lexi, and Lexi was running to the park with her sister. Lexi just loved the park. And now, there's lots of different parks that I've been to. It's very general, but in order to make my story even stronger and more realistic, I want to envision a specific park, okay? So I'm going to think of a park that I grew up going to. It's called Patriarch Park, and it's back in Michigan. And I'm just going to envision it and what my experience was like when I was going there. And I loved going to Patriarch Park in the summer because the sun would shine and it kind of had like this nice breeze when you were at the park. And by the picnic tables, there were the most beautiful bushes of white roses. And I would always go over there and smell them. I love the smell of like the big bushes of white roses. I think it's so pretty and I love to smell them. But there were like always a lot of bees over there. So I had to be really careful. And I'm kind of going somewhere with my story. There might be some trouble with bees in this story. So what I want to do is I just want to think about and imagine that specific park. Instead of just saying like a random park, it's easier for me to describe more about the park when I am envisioning one in my mind that I'm familiar with. I'm really familiar with Patriarch Park. I used to go there every single summer, multiple times in the summer. There was a baseball field. My brothers would play baseball and have practice there, so I'm really familiar with this park. So watch how thinking about a familiar place changed my writing. So this was my first one. Now look at it. One day, Lexi was running to the park with her sister. Lexi felt so refreshed in the breeze and in the sunlight. Lexi loved smelling the bright white flowers surrounding the picnic area. The white roses always had a bunch of bees dancing around near them. Which writing sounds better? I'm going to go with this one. I'm sure you're thinking this one too, right? This is so much more interesting. My reader, hopefully you, can visualize this. Make a picture of this in your mind because I'm able to describe it so much better because I've been to this place. This is a familiar place. Now remember, this isn't a true story about me going to the park. This is a realistic fiction story, so it's my character Lexi, and she just happens to be going to a park, and I'm envisioning a park because it helps me bring more details to my writing so that readers can visualize and make movies in their minds. That's why we're doing this. So today, I want you to think about the story that you're going to be writing today. Maybe it's a story that you've already started. Maybe it's a new story you're going to try out today. And I want you to think of the setting, where your story is going to take place. Think about that and make sure it's a familiar place to you, a place that you've been a lot. And try to remember all the things that make that place special to you, or the things that you remember about that place, how it feels, what it sounds like, what it looks like. And try to add those details into your writing today. Off you go, Raiders!